Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Melrose Taguan, and today's topic is about nature of project-based and problem-based approaches in language teaching, which will be reported by me, Sanchez Generose, and Lagaylay Renelin. So our learning outcomes first is to understand. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Melrose Taguan, and today's topic is about the nature of project-based and problem-based approaches in language teaching, which will be reported by me, Sanchez Generose, and then Lagaylay Ranilin. For our learning outcomes, first is to understand the nature of project-based and problem-based approaches in language teaching. Second is to differentiate project-based and problem-based approaches. Third is to teach English with projects or project-based approach. Well, a problem-based learning versus project-based learning. Problem-based learning, it is a category of experiential learning that involves students in a process of critical thinking to examine problems that are lack a well-defined answer. Whereas in the project-based learning, it is a category of experiential learning where students are presented with a complex problem or questions that has multiple potential solutions and possibilities for exploration. So there's a difference between a problem-based learning and project-based learning. Whereas in a problem-based learning, it involves students critical thinking to examine the problems that are lack of a well-defined answer or solutions. Whereas in a project-based learning, it is a category of experiential learning where students are presented with a complex problem and then they will also use their critical thinking skills to choose and find a solutions with the problems which has a potential solutions and possibilities for exploration. So I have here a problem-based learning. It is where students present problem and then students will define a problem and then brainstorm ideas based on a prior knowledge and then students will engage in independent study. Students share information, engage in peer teaching and work toward the solution and then students present their solution and review what they have learned. Also, students engage in self-peer and tutor review for the process of presenting the solution to the problem. Whereas in the project-based learning, it has the ownership. It involves creativity, collaboration, and critical thinking skills or ability. Well, somehow, a problem-based learning in language acquisition. So, a problem-based learning is a curriculum model that emphasizes the effective use of task-based problems to engage students in active and multidisciplinary learning. And through problem-based learning, students will learn to solve how the problems, to solve the problems that are ill-structured, open-ended, or the ambiguous ones. So it has something to do with engaging students to use their critical thinking skills to solve or to choose solutions to a certain problems that are ill-structured, open-ended, or ambiguous. When we speak about this ill-structured, open-ended, or the ambiguous kind of problem, this kind of problem doesn't have any possible solutions or the possibilities for exploration. Well, problem-based learning purposely combines cognitive and metacognitive teaching of and learning. Well, it is an approach that has been around since the late 1960s, that's according to Neufeld and Barrows in 1974, and engages language students in learning how to learn while they also learn the language and content or the language convention of one's language. Okay, that's all for today. The next part will be reported by Miss Genero Sanchez and then Renalyn Lagaylay. So thank you for watching and then God bless.
Hello, good day everyone. I am Janero Sanchez and today I am going to discuss about the teaching English with project-based approach. So teaching English with project-based approach. So what is PBL or project-based learning or project-based approach. So PBL is a teaching method in which students learn by actively engaging in real-world and personally meaningful projects. It is a student-centered pedagogy that involves a dynamic classroom approach in which students acquire a deeper knowledge through active exploration of a real-world challenges and problems. So students learn about a subject by working for an extended period of time to investigate, analyze, and to give a response to a complex question, challenge, or problem together with his or her group. So, um, what is the importance of PBL? Okay, so first, eh, connecting academic situations to the real world, and PBL develop interpersonal skills. Next is it provides education's insight into students' learning habits. So what are these three? So first, connecting academic situations to the real world. So PBL or project-based approach or learning, it provides an opportunity for the students to learn with the same approach, and they will use in that they can use in their future careers. So this equip critical problem solving procedures within them at an early stage of their life and extremely increasing their likelihoods of a success in their future career they would choose. And so next is development of interpersonal skills. So is this? Since projects are often complex, students are grouped together to work, which nurtures communication skills and confidence. Both even students with different and possibly um, um, contradictory dispositions to find a mutual ground, or at the very least, a way to work together without continuous pressure. So it creates social skills also. It will build your social skills. And also, part of this teamwork builds teamwork building helps to introduce students to the specialization and delegation that are extremely prominent in the real world. Okay, so third is it provides educators insight into a students' learning habits. So, with each new project that is proposed and completed by the students, teachers received an indication into the interests, passions, and motivators of the students. So, they can monitor the students, and then through this, they can teachers um, they can um, they can think of any resources that the students might help or to improve their skills or capabilities with this PBL approach, and or everything about a given project or the topic that is selected, how it is presented, or how students work with others, where they pull their research from, or gives educators crucial information about the learning habits of the students. So it is actually um, effective way. So in a way that it uses learning groups, and though this interaction, students are not only advance their language skills in teaching English, but also they learn how to better critical thinkers by examining materials together and sharing their various perspectives, ideas, or opinions about a certain topic. So, the more students have the opportunities to interact with one another in the classroom um, through collaborative activities and experiential projects. So, the more their academic English skills will grow and deepen, so it is ultimately a teacher's goal to a teacher's goal is to maintain their native language and their cultural traditions, as to strengthen their English language skills. So this type of a service learning project enables students to feel a sense of empowerment and feel that they are making a difference in their communities. So with this opportunity, with this approach, the project based. So next is a rule of a student. So in this PBL, it determines their projects, encourage them to take full responsibility for their learning, and this makes PBL a constructivist learning method in students that work together, use technology to communicate actively with teacher and with and peers and others, and the students makes choice on obtaining, displaying, or manipulating um, manipulating information. So, in project based learning, students are driven to learn content and skills for authentic purpose. So, PBL involves students in explaining their answers to real life questions or challenges or real life problem. So it starts with a driving questions that leads to inquiry and investigations. And then students work to create a product or a presentation as their response to the driving questions. So largely, or students gain a deeper understanding of the concepts and standards at the heart of that as a project. So project build vital workplace skills and a lifelong habits of a learning, and students can um, use the projects to address community issues and explore careers, interact with the adult mentors, use technology, and present their work to the audiences beyond to their classroom. So that's it. That is the rule of a students. So next is the rule of the instructor. So, as a facilitator, they develop an atmosphere of shared responsibility while having the overall control of learning. They regulate students' success with intermittent transitional goals to ensure students' projects remain focused and students have a deep understanding of the concepts being investigated, and the students are accountable on to the goals through feedback and assessments, and the ongoing assessment and feedback to ensure the student stays within the scope of the question and the core standards of the project. So in project based learning, teachers make learning come alive for the students. So students work on a project over an extended period of time, so from a week up to a semester, that engages them in solving a real world problem or answering a complex question. So they demonstrate their knowledge and skills by creating a public product or a presentation for a real audience. So as a result, students develop deep content knowledge as well as a critical thinking, collaboration, creativity, and communication skills. So this project-based learning unleashes a contagious and creative energy among students and the teachers. So the advantages of PBL approaches. So first, more important than learning content, students need to learn to work in a community, thereby taking on social responsibilities. And the most significant contributions of PBL have been in schools in marginalized areas where or when students take responsibility or ownership for their learning and their self esteem increases. And it also helps to create better work habits and attitudes towards learning. And although students do work in groups, they also become more independent because they are receiving little instruction from the teacher. But aside from advantages, PBL or PBL project-based approach also has the shortcomings. So it PBL makes unfocused and underdeveloped lessons can result in the wasting of precious class time. So also lecture style instruction can convey the same knowledge in less knowledge in less class time, and instructors can be misled into thinking that as long as a student is engaged and doing, they are learning. And lastly, if the project or does not remain on task and content driven, the students will not be successful in learning the materials. So that is um, the shortcomings and the advantages of the PBL or project-based approach. So, when we design our curriculum, the first thing that we take into consideration, of course, is or are the students' needs, and the modern time requires modern needs, and particularly the 21st century students' skills. So, what do we have to help students develop skills? So first is the critical thinking, considering that nowadays um, we receive a lot of informational, and we need to organize the information in order to solve the problem. So also creativity from the students and social skills. These are the important elements that we need to incorporate, and these elements are included in PBL by nature. Okay, that's all. Thank you so much, and I hope that you have gained or learned something from this presentation. Thank you and have a good day.
Hello everyone, I'm Renny Lin, or you can just call me Rain or Lin. My report will be a continuation of the previous reporters. So before watching my video, make sure you've watched my group mates' video report first, especially the video of Miss Jinro Sanchez, and also the video of Miss Melrose Taguan. In case you got confused, my report will be the continuation of Miss Sanchez. So without further ado, let's continue. As you can see, our topic is about teaching English with projects or project-based approach. Now, since PBL or project-based learning is tackled already by Jinro Sanchez, I will now tackle about projects. So, projects are designed to build knowledge and develop skills to incorporate language learning and intercultural understanding and to connect learning to the world. It also lasts from a week or to a whole term, but should grant students independence to create an authentic final product requiring them to explore a subject or a combination of subjects in a deep sense throughout the production. Like for example, the teacher gave the student a science project of which they need to make a diorama of an erupting volcano. So let's explore a bit about project-based learning. So project-based learning is a popular teaching practice built around student-driven projects, done either independently or collaboratively. It is often shared with one or more groups of students. This way, students are encouraged to learn by doing, which may lead to more interest, excitement, and energy in the classroom. So, what is the difference between project-based learning and projects? So projects represent a range of tasks that can be done at home or in the classroom. It, it can also be done by parents or group of students quickly or over time. Project-based learning, on the other hand, also features projects. In PBL, the focus is more on the process of learning and learner-peer content interaction than the end product itself. So what is their difference? In projects, it represents a range of tasks, while in project-based learning, it only features projects, but it is more on the process of learning. Now, to further understand the difference of projects and project-based learning, I have here a table of their comparison. So, let's explore what they are. Now, for projects, the audience for projects are generally in the school. It is more about the end product and less about the learning and process. It is also pre-planned and clear and is based on directions and criteria. While in project-based learning, the audience is generally outside the school. It includes the need to know and progress checkpoints. And it input from peers, teachers, community members, experts, and others that can help and guide and improve the project. Project also can be done at home without teacher guidance or collaboration. The project can be outlined in details on one piece or even two pieces of paper by the teacher. In a project, the teacher work mainly occurs after the project is complete. And lastly, are less open-ended and more uniform. Now, in project-based learning, the teacher work is done mainly before and during the process itself. It is often based on driving question and ongoing inquiry, discovery, and iteration. And lastly, it depends on background knowledge, learner choice, technology tools, support from others, and dozens of other factors that result in a process of learning that produces very different results and projects. To further understand more, projects can be done at home without teacher or guidance or team collaboration. Remember that. The teacher work occurs mainly after the project is complete or done. The students do not have many opportunities to make choices at any point in the project and are not particularly relevant to the students' lives and sometimes based around a tool for the sake of the tool rather than of an authentic question. Now remember, that is the projects. Now in project-based learning, it requires teacher's guidance and team collaboration. The teacher works occurs mainly before the project starts. The students make the most of the choices during the project within the pre-approved guidelines, and the teacher may find it surprising with the students' choices. It is also relevant to students' lives or future lives and use technology tools and practices of the real-world work environment purposefully and choose tools according to purposes. So, that's the difference between projects and project-based learning. I hope you take note all of them since it is very important. Now, for conclusion, the Common Core and other present-day standards emphasize real-world application of knowledge and skills, and the development of success skills such as critical thinking, problem-solving, collaboration, communication in a variety of media, and speaking and presentation skills. Now, projects allows teachers to work more closely with students doing high quality, meaningful work, and in many cases, to rediscover the joy of learning alongside their students. Studying English should not necessarily focus on syntactic accuracy or proficiency in grammar usage. Instead, it should be giving opportunities to students to use as much English as they can in real-life context. PBL is a better tool to give them the opportunities and encouragement to use language with an emphasis on communicative purposes in real-world settings, rather than solely focus on accuracy as in traditional teaching. Now, data from these studies is overwhelming enough for educationalists and policymakers to start implementing PBL approach in schools. So that's it, guys. I really hope you understand about our topic, which is the project-based learning and projects, and also the report of Miss Melrose Taguan. So that's it for today's video. For further resources, you can use or you can visit these resources I have here and read about the project-based learning. So that's it, guys. Thank you and God bless.